Like, what does that mean? Like, what is the journey? Well, the journey is camaraderie, immersion in nature. And now I say, what was it like to finish? Adventure isn't about the last or the first day. It's about everything in between.
Yeah. So circling back then, just to kind of frame up the Northwest Passage for those that may not be aware. So
yeah, those people.
Yeah. So it's a 2,000 mile, more than 2,000 mile journey from like Baffin Bay.
Yeah. Well, it's from Baffin Bay to Beaufort Sea. And we thought we were going to have to go to a place called Tuktoyaktuk, past the end of the Northwest Passage. So it would have been close to 2,000 miles. It ended up being about 1,700 and something. I can't remember now. But the actual passage was about 1,600. The route through the Canadian Archipelago in the Arctic that you have to go through if you want to sail from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Historically, it was this fabled trade route. It was expensive and time-consuming, and the British couldn't necessarily go past Spanish or Portuguese or Dutch colonies in South America or Africa. So they thought maybe if we can go over North America, we can get to Asia quicker. And they sent people to look as early as the 1500s. And it quickly became clear that it wasn't a commercial route. Even if it existed, it was so full of ice, nobody could get through. But it became a place in Britain's imagination, and they became obsessed with it, to the extent that the opening of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley is a captain telling a story where he came across Frankenstein who's running from his monster while he's looking for the Northwest Passage. And even now it holds a place in Britain's imagination. Franklin's boats were the famous ones that got crushed and the whole crew ate each other. That's in the 1840s. It was front page news when we finally find his boats in 2014, 2016. The BBC made a fictional dramatized version of it called The Terror. His boats were called the Terror and the Erebus. Michael Palin had a best-selling book about 3 years ago called The Erebus, about the other one. Like, there's something that we low-key in the background care about in Britain. And in the last 10 years or so, the ice has been retreating for longer and longer, that although it once was so full of ice that it was unnavigable, now it's maybe navigable by human power, people began to think. And then that's what the ocean adventure world began to circle around, and people tried it in rowing boats and whatnot. One guy did it over a few years, doing little bits and then going home for winter. So I guess we're the first people to do human power in a single season, and the first people to kayak it. For me, it was exciting to be part of the, there's so many stories that I'd read and stuff. Not to say that it was comparable at all to what they were going through, but it was seeing some of the places that I read about was very